Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, sir.
All right, so we are here. In our last lecture, just remind me what was the focus of our discussion? I'm listening. What did we do in the last lecture, people?
Good night, everyone. Sir, we were looking at University of Stone Dog
So we
last week.
were looking at
looking.
discourse analysis.
Yes,
So
sir.
we were doing discourse analysis. All right, thank you very much. Let me just determine if we have gone through. All right, just remind me if we have looked at this lecture, looking at discourse analysis, and we talked about the types of reading. Did we start that discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we looked at this. So just an overview, let us just refresh our memories. So we looked at the different types of reading purposes, and we mentioned scanning, skimming, intensive reading, extensive reading, and critical reading, which is really the focus of this part of the course. And the primary aim is to get a sense of the writer's intention, main idea, purpose, and link those, and also identify rhetorical strategies in relation to how these strategies help the writer to achieve his or her purpose. So some of it I will skip over because we have looked at these particular things. Those we will do in future in terms of book chapter and all of that. Right, so we go now to the notion of analysis, and we mentioned that analysis is understanding how the work has achieved its effect, but more importantly is critical analysis, which is really evaluating text. Evaluating text means understanding writer's main idea, writer's purpose, identifying organizational strategies, identifying style, writer's style, and being able to explain. So we mentioned some of this. Subject is this is the main idea, who or what the discourse is about. And we said that the author is from what perspective. So it's not necessarily an individual, but it's more the perspective that we have an interest in. We mentioned too about the audience. And if there's something that I'm talking about, we did cover this, right, people? I'm speaking fast because I'm just reviewing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to ensure that I'm not skipping over anything. So we mentioned that in terms of audience, there are different types of audiences: primary versus secondary, specialist versus general academic or general educated. And we said that if there's a paper, for example, on prostate cancer and how to carry out removing prostate cancer cells, then of course the audience would be very specialist, because only specialists would be able to understand that information, and only specialists would be interested in that kind of information for the most part. The purpose now, remember now when you're talking about purpose, is the why of the piece as well as what the writer hopes to accomplish, and that we use particular, it must begin with the to clause, which is, you say, for example, the writer's purpose is to, And you have, for example, to inform, to instruct, to clarify, to argue, to assert. It could be to criticize, it could be to make fun, it could be to mock. All right. And the context now is out of what situation or what circumstances triggered the piece or the publication of the piece. Then we spoke about the organizational strategies, and I'm not going to redefine them or re-explain them because we spent a lot of time on that. And we're going to do some revision tonight, and then look at particular examples. The part that is interesting is types of evidence. Did we look at types of evidence?
No, sir.
Right, so let me go back now because it could be that this is where we stopped. So we did go through the organizing principles, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this part now, we did talk about chronology, and we did say chronology, for example, is another word for it is sequencing or providing information in a step-by-step way. For example, 1, 2, 3 or ABC. And you also have chronological or process explanation, where you're explaining how a process works or how something is done. In terms of the types of evidence, there, so you have facts. These are things that are undebatable. The sun shines, for example. It rains, it snows. There's a country called Jamaica. Quotations. There are times when a piece of discourse has quotations in them as a way to help the writer build his or her credibility, use statistical data, case studies, illustrations, and we did talk about, once you hear illustrations, you just think about examples and descriptions, especially descriptions are, remember we spoke about the fact that descriptions can be technical and or scientific or even literal. And we spoke about the process of circulation, and I think it was one of my male students who explained something relating to blood circulation. I'm not sure if it was Jerome or, is this class Jerome in? Oh Lord, I kind of mix up the classes, getting old. But someone had explained the process of blood circulation, and that in and of itself would be a sort of scientific discussion. The other part now of the discourse analysis, and this part I want you to pay particular attention to, is what is called style. So how do we write? So we might say, secondly, this is like if you're writing it in terms of a body part. Secondly, the writer uses style to achieve his or her purpose. Then you might say, for example, the writer uses jargons and technical words to describe the process of blood circulation. I'm typing it in the chat, that's why I say I'm moving so fast. Slow. Circulation. This description is significant, especially since the writer targets surgeons. All right, so I've kind of given you, so in your mid-semester exam, you actually have to have your topic sentence. So the second topic sentence might be where you're commenting on style. The writer uses style to achieve his or her purpose. When we're talking about style, what do we mean? We are talking about how the writer uses language. That's what we really mean. And if I were you, I would ensure that I need to screenshot this and put it in the chat as well in terms of an example of how you comment on, because this your mid-semester will be based on, it's going to be discourse analysis. So you're going to be given a piece of discourse to write a critical analysis essay. And I'm going to show you some examples because in my other class, when I showed the students some of what other students wrote, they were very impressed. So let me just, today is Tuesday, so you guys are SC. Let's just get the picture. You guys are SC? Today's Tuesday, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that means I shared this thing last night with the students in the wrong group. Oh, Lord. Because I'm seeing some, or did I just, no. So why am I not seeing this, what I just shared? No. So if you guys are SC, then I shared it in the wrong group then. Okay, so let me, right. Okay, are you see? I'm sure you're seeing what I just shared. So when you're talking about style, you're really talking about how the writer uses language. All right, so do we see the words denotation or connotative or denotative? Are we seeing those words? Talk to me, guys.
Yes, sir. I see it. Denotative or connotative.
All right. So you're going to write denotation. If you want to write, but I'm going to tell you exactly what it means, okay? So denotation is the dictionary, literal, scientific, or technical meaning of a word or concept. So denotation is the literal.
Can you type it so your connection bad?
My connection is bad.
Going in and out.
All right, so let me see which Wi-Fi I'm on. If I'm on my, okay.
Sir, you sound perfectly fine
Problem,
on
Mark.
my end. The
Shall
Wait, so
person,
you're
it's,
okay on my end.
the person who was speaking just now, her connection is bad.
right, so it is her connection, not my connection. Okay.
Right.
All right, thanks for that, guys, because I was just about to probably interfere with my Wi-Fi that is not giving any trouble. Ah. All right, so what's the meaning of denotation now? Remind me what I said. What's the meaning of denotation?
It is the literal. It is the literal, simple dictionary, scientific or technical meaning of a word or concept.
So it is the literal dictionary, scientific, technical meaning of a word or concept. Thank you. All right, mute your mic for me, please. Thanks. So connotation, no. Connotation, no. Connotation, it is the imaginative or figurative meaning of a word or concept. It is
Sorry.
Yes?
I was saying that you gave us these.
Yes,
meaning
sir.
last-
Because I have that already.
Oh, you got this already, but why people said I didn't comment on style then? Because I was wondering how is it that the other class is ahead and you are not?
Yes, sorry, sir. You said diction was a choice of words and registers all
Right.
language is used in a particular
Right.
context, formal.
Yes, yes. So we did cover this then. So let's move on. Let's move on. All right. I think we even commented on tone. Did we comment on tone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sure.
We don't need to look at that.
Sir, I think we reached types of evidence.
No, we looked at types of evidence already. Because if we remember types of evidence, the slide is before what I'm doing now, so I would have looked at it.
Sorry, the tone already?
Yes.
When you said the attitude towards his or her
Right.
topic
So the
and
feeling or
reader
so
audience.
tone is the feeling of the writer, the feeling or attitude of the writer towards his or her subject matter. That's tone. And that comes under style as well. And I think I said that we would use these questions as a way to answer. All right. The other thing, was it in this? No, and did I show you how to, for example, how to structure the discourse analysis? Did I show you how to structure it?
No, sir.
No, sir. Sir, you
All
He
right.
just said he's breaking down the information.
All right. So it means that I showed the other class. So I have this slide here. Oh, here it is. So it was in the other class. All right. All right. So let's see. All right, so it's in the WhatsApp group as well as I'm going to put it in the, I don't know if you can upload image here. Yeah, I think so. I should think so. Your computer. All right, so this is how you structure your mid-semester organizing your discourse analysis essay. So the introduction, you identify the writer's main idea, the purpose, the discourse mode. Some people put audience as well as the thesis. Then you have 2 to 3 body paragraphs. If I were you, I would just stick to 2. One body paragraph looks at 3 organizing strategies or organizing principles. The other one looks at style, or if you want to write another one looking at language techniques, which means figures of speech, and then you have your conclusion. And we're going to look at some examples of that. All right, which it was University of Stone Dog we had looked at together.
Yes, sir.
Yes, did we identify, I'm not sure if we had identified any organizing strategies. We did.
Sir, you said that we were supposed to look for 3 language strategy and explain one.
Okay, and you are doing it in group.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me give you 5 minutes as group members. Oh yeah, so you're supposed to be sharing screen for me to look at.
Yeah, man, sir.
All right, Tevon. So go ahead for me, Tevon and group.
All right, sir.
Let's see what you have. This is University of Stone Dog, and then I'm going to show you now how to kind of pull it together in essay form.
All right, sir. So we did it by WhatsApp message. Wait. Oh, man, share the screen.
Yes, share screen for us.
All right, so in the within the article, we found 3 organizational strategies. The first one was contrast. We found it. I'm not quite sure I don't remember which number paragraph it is, but here's what it says. Not every institution registered with the council claims the weighty name of university. Most are colleges or institutes, and this is as it should be. The primary mark of distinction of a university is that it maintains a vibrant graduate research program. By contrast, a college specializes in undergraduate education. One of the institutions registered by the councils is a university college, described on its own website as effectively a hybrid of some of the functions of a
So
university.
you're showing a contrast between the definitions of
university and college.
Right. Okay. All right. So, but there are 2 things the writer is using then. So the writer is using contrast, and the writer is also using what? Yes, definition. You're correct. All right.
We'll have our next one here, sir, with definition in it. This is where it defines mongrel. Not even Edward Seaga tried to justify his slip of the mouth. Against all reasons, it was the Venerable Wilmot Perkins who took up the cause and foolishly attempted to defend the indefensible.
All right. So what I'm going to teach you, hold on. So what I'm going to teach you is how to identify the strategy, cite the example without actually using the same language, using the exact words of the passage. You're going to paraphrase. So you might say the writer uses definition the writer defines the term mongrel dog to whatever. You don't necessarily need to. So you can say the writer defines the term mongrel dog in paragraph 5 to whatever, instead of writing the entire thing out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, all right. But it's good that you and your group members are able to identify the strategies. Give me the other one.
Oh, and the other one was anecdote. Anecdote. I think this was down to where it started to talk about the writers about maybe I try.
No man, if you can, so you say talking, let me not be absolutely, I'm not suggesting, and then he quoted the example between Edward Seaga and when he referenced PNP as mongrel party.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So that's where the anecdote would be.
Right. So yes, the writer uses, I don't know if, well, you can say it's anecdote, or is that a specific example? You could look at it also as a specific example or a specific illustration. Yes. All right. So thanks for that, Tevon. That's good. Anything else? Purpose? Yes.
Yeah, man, sir, we find the purpose.
All right. May I listen?
She wanted to educate prospective students on the difference between a university and a college. Also, she wanted to highlight that there are a huge amount of non-accredited universities that are not registered with the country. And the style that she used was expository writing.
All right, so two things. So style is not the type of discourse. So what you should have said is the discourse mode. All right, and then the purpose is. But let me ask you this, and this is a question for the class. Do you think, remember expositions are to educate, to inform, to explain, and so forth. Do you think that this passage generally is expository in nature? Would you say that the discourse mode is exposition?
Well, sir, to be honest, when I read it, I didn't see like she was doing any of the other ones, like descriptive or persuasive. So, and that's she stating like definitions and a lot of other stuff. So it seemed more like a educating article to me.
Okay, all right. Finish your thought.
So that's why we chose expository, even though it's not, but yeah.
All right. All right. Thanks very much, Tevon. Very good work. And I will reserve my comments until the end when I've heard from other persons. Tony and Townsend, go ahead, you and your group. Tony and Townsend. Tony and Townsend. All right, so I want it on the record that I called her name and she did not respond, okay? Because I just want to make it be clear what I realize some students are logging in and they're not in the class. Tanisha Gale, go ahead for me, you and your group members. So Tony, and you're saying Shannon should share, and I'm not understanding. Is it that you're saying that Shannon should share? Is Shannon here? Because when I call your name in, it's either you are sharing. So Shannon, can you share for me? Because Ms. Townsend is saying that you are the person who is speaking on behalf of the group.
I'm here, but we didn't go into details.
So tell us what you have.
All right, so I'm going to show you what we had.
Okay. Please remember this, your mid-semester is based on this. So the more you practice, the better you become at it, all right? We're waiting. Hey, Shannon, are you going to share? You said that you're going to show us what you had. What's happening? Okay. All right. Tajay Green, go ahead for me, you and or your group members. Let's see what you have. All right, so we have like a paper. This is interesting. Let's go ahead.
Sir, you hearing me clearly?
Yes, I am.
Purpose and the main idea. In the piece titled University for Stone Dog, the writer wanted to clarify that there are, in fact, differences between universities and other tertiary level institutions. It was noted that the primary feature that sets a university apart from other institutions is that universities maintain vibrant graduate research programs. The writer went on further to provide a definition for the word university and stated the original purpose for which it was conceived. The main idea was to warn prospective students, in brackets the primary audience, and also parents of prospective students, not to be caught up in the abundance of institutions offering up themselves as universities. The piece gives a caution to individuals who are seeking after a university education. The writer noted that there was mostly certainly not a shortage of institutions offering themselves up as universities, but questions the authenticity of the programs they offered. The language strategies we found in this article, sir, the pun, the writer intended to be humorous in paragraph 13 with the use of play on words to elevate a sense of comedy and sarcasm. The sentence I found in the paragraph was, Isonet Bennett is undoubtedly quite an entrepreneur. At the rate she's going, all she needs to do is set up a funeral home to take her students from the cradle to the grave.
Pause for me. Tevon. Tevon? Is Tevon there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you still think it is exposition based on what she just said?
About the pun, sir.
Yes.
I was literally thinking about it a little while, but
Can't be exposition. Remember, I said to you that when you think about exposition, think about your textbook.
okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Like an accounts book or an IT book. You don't usually come across puns, right?
No, not really, not in the textbook, sir.
Right, and humor and all of that. So it therefore means that the discourse mode cannot be exposition. All right, continue. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to point out, make a point out something to.
Okay, sir. Another strategy we found was expert opinion. With the author's experiences, Caroline Cooper, a literary scholar, she tries to convey her audience about the increase of universities in Jamaica that lack the necessities of high standards in bracket quality and does not deserve the name of university, paragraph 3 and 4. Another we found is definition and classification. The writer includes the definition and classification of the word university to bring across the point where some colleges are not scholar institution, paragraph 9. Area of styles we found. Denotation, the word denotation, the word university comes from the Latin through French into English and means basically the same as universe. It is made up of two Latin words, unus and versus, meaning turn. Diction, it was a bona fide intellectual who put a high premium on academic excellence. Connotation. A university is not a piece of furniture.
But when she says university is not a piece of furniture, let me see if you guys are thinking, because we actually had a discussion about this. What type of definition is that?
Repeat that one for me, please.
So I'm asking, so she has connotation, a university is not a piece of furniture.
Sure, figurative definition.
What are the different types of definition I gave you?
Sir, reverse.
Reverse.
Thank you very much. It would be an example of reverse definition. A university is not a piece of furniture. And it's not a university, she said. I think she said a chair is not a university. She says a chair is not a piece of furniture. All right.
Sir, you said a
University chair.
A university chair, right. A university chair. So the word chair has, yes, you're correct. So go back to the top for me. So can I just say, I am very, 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 very proud of this, because this is heading in the direction of what I want for your mid-semester exam. There are some areas of weaknesses, but this is what I'm looking for. This is high-level analysis. This is commendable, commendable, commendable work by these students. Just give me 1 sec. Let me see if our colleague is calling.
Sir, I'm so strong, sir.
Oh, hold on. My aunt is calling me. Give me 1 sec.
Woo!
Yes, yes, yes. It's really, really good. You see, when I cuss when they say I'm strong, and when I praise when they say I'm strong, what must the black man do to please his students? No, but seriously though, this is really, really good work. I love the fact that there is a lot of investment. I can see the critical analysis. So for example, you could have said in the persuasive piece titled University of a Stone Dog, does that word persuasive? So when you said the writer wanted to clarify that there are, in fact, get a mark there, differences, get a mark because that's you're going to the strategy. It was noted primary feature that sets a university. The writer went further on to provide a definition. That's another mark. The main idea was to warn prospective students. That is very, very correct. And this is why it has to be persuasive, because expositions don't warn. Fair enough, people? Expositions do not warn. So that's another mark. And also parents, that's audience. So we have main idea. Well, it's not really the main idea, that's really the purpose. So the purpose is to warn prospective students. So you get 2 marks for that. You'd get another mark for parents of prospective students. That's another mark. So this is really commendable work. So kudos to the group. Who are the group members? I see Sherry Ann Bartley. Who else is in this group?
Tajay, also, sir.
And
yes, sir. Shanika, sir.
Green and Shanika Thompson.
Very, very good work. Commendable, commendable work. I love it. Heading in the
Thank you,
direction
sir.
that I'm looking for. All right. All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
guys. Yes, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I got kicked off earlier when I was trying to share. My Wi-Fi is unstable. Can I try again?
Can you share it in the WhatsApp group and then I share?
Okay, no problem.
Just in case you have internet connectivity issues again.
Okay.
All right, let me know when you have shared it in the WhatsApp group so I can bring it up.
Sir,
Yes?
there's a Guinness.
Well, I'm all the way in Canada. I don't know how you're going to get the Guinness. I don't know how the hell you're going to get the Guinness. All right. But commendable work, guys. Commendable work. It means that you are learning.
Oh,
Have
sir.
you shared? Yes?
One more thing. I did my part, but I got some help from Miss Brown.
Mhm.
So, and my group members also. So, big
That's
up to
good.
Miss.
Yes,
Brown.
man. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go and get assistance and ensure that the assistant doesn't, you don't make the assistants become the person who really does it for you, but the person can look and say, this is good, this is bad, include this, include that. Because right now my nephew is at UA in 2nd year, and every now and again I actually go into his UA account, look at his grades, check to see if the assignments are good, review them for him, because I want him to get a very good degree, so that when I'm sending for him to come to Canada, he probably gets a scholarship. All right, so Shannon, Shannon, are you sharing? Did you share it in the group? In the WhatsApp group so I can share on screen for you? I'm not seeing anything yet. All right, while we're waiting on her, let's see if we can have Miss Masters, Shannon Masters. Go ahead for me. You and or your group members.
None, sir. I wasn't a part of last week's class, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. All right.
Where it's there now. As I said, we didn't go into details.
All right, I'm going to share. I'm opening the document. Very skeletal, but let's see. I'll allow your peers to make a determination about the level of work done. Let's share screen. Trying to share screen. What am I trying to bring up? This document. All right, so let me increase. So the main idea is that universities are not the same as colleges. Well, go ahead and walk us through your paper.
All right, so the writer's main idea is that universities are not the same as colleges. As it relates to the graduate programs, the writer's purpose is to inform prospective students and parents that there are a lot of educational institutions claiming university titles but does not meet the criteria. The three areas we found under styles are diction, tone, and figurative language, which is repetition, the use of the word university continuously.
And I would not give you any mark for that. You would not get any mark for that.
Right,
Just
sir.
telling you, because it is not deliberate repetition. Remember when you're commenting on, so I'm happy that you mentioned repetition as a form of under style. Well, it's really a language technique, but I'll accept it. But it has to be that it's deliberate repetition. It's like saying the writer repeats the word to. That's not deliberate repetition. But so you have to comment on deliberate repetition, and that is now when the writer is using it as a way to achieve a particular objective. Okay. And you say under style, not styles. See, style is always singular in this instance. All right. Within the context of the discourse analysis is style, because some people put language before it, so they might say language style.
Okay, sir.
All right. Yes. Continue.
And the organization strategies.
Organizational
strategies is definition, which is literal. Right here I wrote where we found it, which is the first paragraph after the heading struggling institution, where she defines the term university, contrasts the difference between university and college, and there was short paragraph and sentences.
All right, so in the future now, you know that you have to flesh out these ideas, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you have to flesh out the idea. So I'm seeing, and the thing is, if you write this for me under exam condition, the reason I would not give you any mark is because I don't know if you are able to actually identify them, or you just remember the device and say, oh, sorry, I did mention something about short paragraph. Let me jot it down on the paper. All right, so in the future, ensure that, and when I say you, I mean the entire group and the entire class, that you're able to do exactly what was done before, not just write or identify it, but you're able to kind of explain it. All right, thank you very much. Fair attempt, just needed to do some additional work, but fair attempt, all right?
All right, thank you.
Welcome. This is Abraham Stewart. Go ahead for me. You and your group.
Coming, sir. Is that large enough?
A little bit larger, just a little bit. All right, we are seeing it, right? That's too large now.
All right, hold on.
Yes, we can see it now. All right, so walk us through your paper.
All right, the essence of the article, University of Stone Dog, is to illustrate to readers the number of tertiary institutions in Jamaica that are claiming to have attained university and college status, both registered and unregistered. The writer's purpose is to challenge the quality of education being offered by the tertiary institutions. Another purpose that should be of the writer is to illustrate to readers that due diligence must be executed when selecting a college or university to further their education by scrutinizing the program being offered to students. This is evident in paragraph 3 and 4, and I didn't get to finish that point there. The use of evident in paragraph 2, where the writer recalled a member of the public commenting on a radio program about how Jamaica had more universities than basic schools. Definition is another language strategy employed to point out to readers that universities were originally known for academic scholars and teachers. This is evident in paragraph 9. The use of metaphors is a final strategy used by the writer to demonstrate how the varied tertiary institutions within Jamaica can be likened unto mongrel dogs. The tone of the writer suggests bias, which is evident throughout the article, as the writer repeatedly categorized universities as dogs. Informality is seen to be the choice of delivery of the writer. The use of this register assists the writer to achieve the objective of informing readers. And sorry, I didn't get to finish. We didn't get to finish that part right there, sir.
Okay. All right. So Yes, close your mics or mute your mics. I like the fact that there's evidence of analysis, but I would say that the analysis is a little bit weak, or is what I would say half-baked. What do I mean by that? So let us look at this paragraph. So you say, for example, the definition is another language strategy employed to point to readers that universities were originally known for academic scholars and teachers. Here what you needed to have done now to get the full mark. So yes, the writer uses definition, but you haven't told me why. Why no? Why is the writer defining universities as institutions of academic scholars and teachers? So the writer uses definition in this particular instance to point a contrast, or to identify the difference between some institutions in Jamaica that are scholarly in nature and those that are not. And this is what now constitutes the whole notion of university of a stone dog. When you say that the writer says that very tertiary institutions can be lying, no, there's a point that you made that was not actually accurate. Right, you said the use of metaphors is the final strategy demonstrate how the varied tertiary institutions can be likened unto mongrel dogs, but that's not really what the writer was saying. The writer was saying that the whole notion of mongrel dogs was to point out that there are so many universities are in abundance in Jamaica, and many of them are unregulated. Many of them are not scholarly in nature. Many of them don't deserve. They're not worth the degree that they give out. All right. So there is analysis in it, but the problem with the analysis is that there are some little areas that are very weak, and there's a somewhat misinterpretation. All right. When you mention tone, for example, I would have said that I wouldn't necessarily, I would agree with you that the tone is biased, but I think the tone is more than bias. I think the tone, the writer is very concerned. We get a writer that is very concerned, extremely concerned about the fact that these things are happening in a very unregulated way. That's how I would phrase it. Go back to the top.
You know, I had it there first, sir.
Yes.
And then I moved it. Yes, and I took it out.
Yes, man, you're throwing everything. And you know, what no work, you know, you might get it for something else. All right, go back up for me now. Never put to illustrate. And this is for everybody. Never to put to illustrate is either to inform, to persuade, and so forth. Never to illustrate, because illustrate in this instance would actually be linked to exposition, not persuasion, because you actually rightly say is to challenge the quality of education. And the mere fact that you say that the writer's purpose is to challenge, it cannot be what? Exposition, because expositions don't challenge. Fair enough? Fair enough, everybody. Remember we said about
Yes, sir.
exposition to explain, to inform, to educate. We just remember the purpose of exposition. They have a different purpose. All right. And then the register now would be informal because in part the tone is very conversational and even the style of writing is very conversational. So University of a Stone Dog is a kind of proverb that is used, which again allows the writer to kind of mock or criticize places such as Heidel University. All right. And somebody be given a Marcus Garvey chair. All right, but very, very commendations for actually doing critical analysis. This is actually critical analysis. It's just that there are some areas that need some, you know, some amount of improvement. All right, so kudos to you, Marsha, Riley. Can't see the last name on my screen, and your group members for actually doing some serious work in terms of critical analysis. All right, thanks, guys. Stop sharing for me. Let me see if I. Miss Rashidia Smith, you're in that group, or I don't remember if your group has presented already.
No, sir, not yet.
All right, so go ahead for me.
Good evening, everyone. All right, so sir, for the language strategies, we use definition, expert opinion, and why am I something? Oh, and authoritative source.
Authoritative.
Authoritative source, sorry. So for the definition, we look at when the author was defining the word university, where she literally defined the term university and state the origin of it. And also for expert opinion, when she stated that that there are 48 registered institutions, and even give an insight of the near future, how much university is expected to be implemented. And for the, sorry, I can't pronounce the word here.
Pun.
Sir?
Pun, like fun. Just change it the f to p. Pun. Oh, authoritative.
Authoritative.
So yes, just break it up into syllables. Authoritative.
Authoritative. Sir, I kind of have this tongue, so I talk fast, you know, hear it.
Okay, okay.
Authoritative source. All right, so with the authoritative source, in the first paragraph, she stated the website where she gets her information from. So in other words, she's showing or giving credit for where she gets her information from.
Okay, but that's not how you do the analysis though. So you don't say she's showing where, that's a given. In other words, she probably is citing from the University of Wisconsin to build credibility with the reader, to say that there are indeed several universities registered, but they are not scholarly, because there's a difference between being registered and being a scholarly institution. All right?
Yes, sir.
Continue.
As for the language device, we use the term, we found pond, where she was mentioning about where she was mentioning about a funeral home. As you can see here. So I'm not good at explaining, but I'll try work on it.
No, man, go ahead. So why was the writer quote unquote punning? What was the purpose of using the pun? All right, so continue. Let me not put you on the spot.
Sir, for repetition, we were thinking, we had the term dog in terms of how many times she mentioned the name dog throughout the scenarios. But then I was having we were having second thoughts.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't use that instance in terms of repetition.
Right. So we were having second thoughts with that one. And we use the term metaphor, where she said that gone to the dogs, where the writer used a metaphor to describe to the audience the university all across the board in Jamaica have lost their values, because like you mentioned, nowadays persons are just going to university.
No. Hold on. Slow your roll. Never ever do that. So never bring outside information into your analysis. You're only analyzing what is on paper, not what you know about the society, okay? Never
Okay,
do that in
sir.
a critical. You only look at what is on paper. And you have to be careful because you use what is called sweeping generalization a while ago to say that the writer is saying that universities all across the board. That's not true. The writer actually uses, actually says about, I think she mentions former Prime Minister Bruce Golding and the fact that he went to University of the West Indies, a bona fide university. And then she mentions Heidel, pointing out
university and colleges in Jamaica.
Right. So pointing to Heidel of not being a quote unquote proper university. So you have to be careful. You try to avoid those words like all and never. They always tell you so absolute words. You have to be careful in terms of when you're using them. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Sir, as it relates to how she bring across the information to her audience, I would more say that she's informing her audience about the various types of university and comparing the universities back then versus what they are now.
All right. Again, you're going outside of the article. You have to be careful.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks. I'm happy that persons are literally doing work, trying to make sense of what is being done. Leroy, go ahead for me. You and or your group members.
Hi, sir. Yeah, Leroy is going to share it within a minute, sir. He's just having some issues. It's coming right now.
What kind of issues, Leroy? I never have no issue when I call him name before, so I'm all of a sudden have issues. Leroy, sort out your issues.
Try to bring it up for you, sir.
He can post it in the WhatsApp group and I'll share and you guys explain. And remember, the other persons in the group can actually share as well. Oh Lord, the Lord, probably come back for the world before Leroy starts sharing the screen. Any other group? Dave, go ahead for me, Dave, until Leroy is ready. Dave, you and or your group members?
Sir, I was not at class, sir. I'm just checking what's going on.
Okay, all right. Abigail Robinson, you and or your group members?
Sir.
Yes.
So I came class late in the evening and like a minute after I came, we went in the group and like some of the group members were saying they are not sure and they wasn't paying much attention to class and stuff. So they didn't really get a full understanding of what to do.
Okay. All right. Felicia, go ahead.
Sir, I am from Abigail's group.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to try and explain, okay?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
The main idea, right? The writer main idea is that there are many so-called universities that are around and students seeking to get a tertiary education should be mindful of which one they choose because not all that are called university are qualified to have such title. Writer's purpose is to inform the prospective students of the variety of universities that are out there so that they can be alert and vigilant in their choice. Language strategy, sir, I'm not sure if they are correct, but process explanation, where the writer speaks about the quality. Quantity is one thing, but what about the quality of the lesson? Contrast the difference between the university and the college. Their style, which is the figurative language, which is a metaphor. All black Jamaicans were dogs. People are not dogs.
Oh, go back to the top for me. All right, so be careful now, and this is a caution to everybody in the class, be careful of not paraphrasing too much of the passage when you are, for example, stating the writer's main idea or the writer's purpose, because if it is that all you're doing is just paraphrasing, and I don't get a sense that you're not putting it in your own words, then you can't get any mark, all right? So in this case, I think the main idea is really kind of just paraphrasing what is in the passage. So we get a sense, yes, there are so-called universities, but the mere fact that you said so-called universities sound just like the tone of the passage. The purpose now, as we said, is not to inform, because it's more a persuasive piece. All right, so it's more to criticize, it's more to caution. And I like the fact, however, I like the fact that you said so that they can be on the alert and be vigilant in their choosing. That's a very, very good point. So I would give you a mark for that part. Quantity is one thing, but what about quality is not a process. Remember, process explanation means that there's a series of things that are being done in a step-by-step way. All right. Contrast, difference between university and college, yes, but what about the explanation of that? So you will not get a mark for just saying contrast and saying difference between university and college. You get the mark when you actually explain. No, I would actually give you 1 mark, 1 out of 3, for the fact that you demonstrate that you understand the contrast within the context of the passage. But you are not, for example, giving me what is called critical analysis. All Black Jamaican were dogs. People are not dogs. So here now, you're not explaining the metaphor. What you're trying to do is to define it, and you don't get a mark for definition, because I know what is a metaphor, so you don't need to define it for me. I think that's about it. I don't think you commented on anything else. So fair attempt, but I think there's much more work to be done. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right. I'm going to give you guys, stop sharing for me. There is another passage. What's the passage I gave them in the... Ew. You guys are SC. Let me just make sure so I didn't give you that. No, I didn't. Right, I didn't give it to you. All right, so I'm going to give you a passage. Let me find it on Google. I want for you to read the passage without making any assumption about what it is about. So be careful of rushing to judgment. I'm deliberately giving you this passage. I gave it to the other class and many people made the wrong assumption. All right, so I posted it in the WhatsApp group and I've posted it in the chat as well. I'm going to put it in groups randomly and you're going to work together. I'm going to give you about half hour or so to identify purpose, language, organizational strategies, probably main idea and audience. All right, different people can work on different things in the passage.
Sir?
Yes?
You can share now, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Sir, I wrote it in my book, so I was trying to put it in a Word document. I wasn't finished. All right, so the purpose and main idea is to advise prospective students and parents to be aware of the university applying for, where it states that not every institution registered with the council claims the weighty name of university. So the main idea is to inform prospective students that they are spending time in universities that are not accredited. So this language strategy, I use figurative, where it's a university for stone dog. So the author is emphasizing that university at these levels are not large. They are large in quantity, but not in quality. Problem and solution, the struggling university. So the solution is that the Prime Minister declare that the government is get mixed up right here. So the government declare to establish a university park in Caymanas that will enable struggling institution to pool resources for survival. However, the author recommended that not waste resources on these institutions, but to invest in proper university or basic school. Didn't get to finish it, sir. Sir, are you there?
Oh, sorry. You know, I was talking and my mic was muted. I didn't realize. I muted my mic because you were talking. Oh, I was saying that this has the same challenges like the one before, where you're just kind of rehashing what is in the passage. I don't get critical analysis. There's analysis, but it's not critical. So for example, you don't need to say problem and solution. You could have said that the writer identifies the problem of paraphrase, and offers the solution X and Y, X and Y. And I think you have too many lines for just problem and solution. You have to find creative ways to comment, because remember, it's 3 strategies you're commenting on, and you don't want to write 5 paragraphs or 3 strategies. They literally are supposed to hold in 1 or 2 paragraphs. All right. Also to remember that you have to write in complete sentences. So for example, you have purpose and main idea, and you start the sentence with is to, and the word is advise, A-D-V-I-S-E. This is advice, which is a noun. The one where you're telling somebody what to do is advice, which is A-D-V-I-S-E. All right. So it has the same challenges that the one before has. All right. So stop sharing for me. So I'm going to put you in groups now, randomly. 45. And you're going to read the passage and identify main idea, purpose, 3 language strategies, and comment on style if there's enough time. I'm giving you up until 8. At 8:40, we're going to start going per group, all right? Please go into the breakout rooms for me. The passage is in the chat as well as it is in the WhatsApp group.
Sir, can you repeat what we're going to do in the breakout room, please?
You're going to repeat what you did last week. Identify the main idea, writer's purpose, organization, 3 language strategies or organizational strategies.
Thank you.
All right, so now that you have been exposed to other papers and how persons have structured their responses, it's your opportunity now to kind of improve on some of what you have presented. All right, so please go in the breakout room. Thank you. And it's group work, and you must be able to share screen. I don't see anybody in the breakout rooms.
Sir,
Yes.
really bad. I come in and really like access something.
Miss Robinson, you're not in any of the breakout rooms.
Sir, I got kicked out just now. I'm still traveling home. Could you add me to a group, please? Good night.
So why don't you wait until you reach home, because it seems as if you're going to be constantly out of a group. But I'll add you to room 1.
Hi, sir, can you hear me? One more, please. I got kicked off.
Sir Clark?
Yes, who is the host? Felicia Watson, can you hand back host to me, please?
Sir?
Can you hand back host to me?
How do I do that?
You're going to go to my name and click, go to my name and put the cursor to the far, where you see the microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't able to take you guys out the breakout room because I'm not host. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And now I don't remember who was in what room, but all right, Ronaldo Butler and group members, go ahead for me.
Sir, he's new and he's a part of our group.
You was in what, the first class?
Yes, first class, first time.
Yes. This is my first class.
How is that possible? We're in the 5th week of school.
Yes, I know. I'm doing my best to catch up on everything. So by next week by next week I'm supposed to catch up on everything. I do apologize for the.
So what happened to you over the last 4 weeks?
I wasn't in the island actually. I wasn't in the island.
Okay, so you are the reason why you were not.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how you're going to catch up because catching up in the class is not the easiest thing to do. That's what I can tell you.
I know that. I will try my best. Most definitely, I will try my best.
All right. So the first thing, let us help him. Because clearly you're not in the WhatsApp group. Then,
no, I'm not in the WhatsApp group.
Try to use the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm going to give him the YouTube link as well. But let me share the WhatsApp group link, so at least he's in the know. In group by copy link. So you can join the WhatsApp group there. Then in order to get the recordings, let me send you the YouTube channel link. I'm going to call them because I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. Is this the channel? Right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Have you joined the WhatsApp group?
Yes. I just did.
All right. So click on the link. Let me know when you have subscribed to the YouTube channel for you to access the recordings.
Yes, I have subscribed to the YouTube channel.
All right. So I should get that in my email. Let me check. Whenever there's a new subscription, it goes into my email. All right. So that's all right. So the lectures are labeled SC.
Yeah.
So that's how you know which week. All right. So it's SC, which
All
means supply chain. I just use that as the way to identify the students who are in the class. All right.
All right.
Okay. So you are not the best person to start with. So Brittany Smith, go ahead. Let me see you and your group. Let's see what you have.
All right, so we weren't finished, but okay. My group consists of Felicia and Ronaldo and Abigail.
Talk to us.
So the writer's main purpose is to find out the males, why these males are interested in having their old boy companion instead of female company. And we found 3 language strategies: definition, companion, and pun.
Okay, I don't know that purpose can be to find out. And I don't, when you just write down 3 things, I don't know what that means, because I don't know if you actually have identified any instance of definition.
No, we weren't finished, sir. We were just listing them.
What word is the second one, or what word should it be? Look at the second one on the language strategies.
It was defined in companion in the article. The writer have a definition of companion.
Then how is companion listed as a strategy? I didn't tell you anything about a strategy named companion.
Maybe it's a mistake.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
So stop sharing.
Yes, stop sharing for me. Samantha Smith, go ahead for me. Samantha Smith and group members. Did somebody who worked with Samantha Smith? All right, I think she just out. I called her name already.
So I don't remember my group members. I wonder if Samantha Smith was a part of my group 5.
I don't know. You tell me. Go ahead, share for me.
So I think we mainly jot down things and never really got to type. Samantha Smith was the one typing, but her internet is giving issues.
Yeah, why were you people always electing people to do typing that they have internet issues?
So let me try see if I can share with my phone. So I can make someone go ahead and then be next. I think I'll
Okay.
be too late.
All right, Janice Weeds. You and or your group members, Janice, are you there? Janice, are you there? For the record, I'm calling her name and she's not responding. Janice Weaves. Kaden Dixon, go ahead for me. You and your group.
Good evening, everyone. Deidre?
No, so I was saying, sir, we didn't get a chance to type. We're just discussing. So I don't know if we can just discuss it to you because we didn't get a chance to type.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so sir, so far, I think Kadian came up with the main purpose, and other than that, we had for the language strategy, we have a literal definition where she defined companion, saying that is someone you eat bread with. An expert opinion when the author spoke about the penile failure, that when a man can fake orgasm, he cannot fake his erection. We stated that as the expert opinion. And also contrast.
Not an expert opinion. She's not an expert in the function of the male genitalia. That's not an expert opinion. She's not an expert in the area of male anatomy. Or continue.
Sir, group members, you want to add anything?
Okay, sir. So the main purpose of the idea that we were discussing is that the author was trying to come across that due to the fact that the KC boys, they spend so many times together, that the old boys nowadays, that they have a certain type of I'd say like a confidentiality between each other. So they grow up now and they go to married women, but so it's a case where they I'll say they can't wait to have that renewal. Sorry, sir, I'm a bit nervous. To meet up with their old boys. So it's just a case where they're spending so much time together with them. The purpose is just to highlight that spending so much time with the boys, it kind of grow a confidentiality between them.
And have
but
an attachment.
It right, and they have an attachment. That's what we get for the main purpose of the paper.
Okay.
And also, sir, identify a contrast between where the author was basically depicting between those old boys who have a desire for men versus those who actually are man enough who would rather go home and spend time with their wife after a school renewal.
All right, so that let me just correct that for the record, because you're implying that the men are homosexuals, and that's not what the piece is about. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right, it's called satire, so you have to be careful. So I wanted to correct that for the record, because that's not what the piece is saying.
So what does satire mean?
Look it up.
Okay.
Yes. Sherry and Bartley, you and/or your group?
Sir Zoe, no, I'm doing.
Sir, so like the other groups, we weren't able to finish, but let me explain what we have. So based on our discussion or based on our finding, the purpose of the piece is to assert that even though KC old boys may feel that women are inferior, they are indeed the superior sex. The main idea was to highlight the fact that when it comes to the annual dinners of the KC Old Boys Association, female companionship is not high on the list of priorities. This is so because they would much prefer to focus on their camaraderie and revel in the memories of the good old days together. One language strategy identified was definition where the author defined companionship, and the writer uses definition to educate the audience on the nature of relationship between the old boys.
The writer uses the definition to show the bond. It's not to the nature of the relationship, it's to show the bond between the bond that these boys share, or these men share, that develop during their days in high school. And when you're writing about the main idea, you cannot write is to or was to. So first of all, discourse analysis is always written in the present tense. So the main idea cannot be to. You can't use to with main idea. You don't get a mark for that. The main idea is that, the purpose is to. You have to remember that, okay?
So repeat that for me, please.
The main idea is it begins with the that clause, and the purpose begins with the to clause.
Purpose begins with the to clause.
Right, and the main idea begins with the that clause. I gave this to you in notes, you know. I gave this to you in notes. All right, mute your mic, please. Tanisha Gale and our group members, go ahead for me. Tanisha Gale and our group members.
We were writing, we were discussing, but I'm not sure who was writing. We were just making jot, or we were jotting down.
So let's hear it. Let's hear what you guys were discussing.
Dave, Rona, Tony, and
Sir, so we were discussing that the main idea, the main purpose of the paper was to just inform the readers that these boys, the KC boys, would rather spend time with their long time friends, so to speak, sir, that they grew up with. So the writer was speaking to the bond that they shared over the period of years that they were attending school. Dave, let me know.
And I'll find a definition, sir. She said companion. She said the origin of that word is a Latin word.
Why does the writer define the term companion?
Companion, because it's someone share things together.
Yes, sir. It speaks to the relationship
Right,
that
they have. So she was saying that the boys and them grew up together over the years at school, 4 and 5 bridging.
Are she talking about boys or is she talking about adult males?
Adult males. Eat party together, juice together, so them have a
Sir, wasn't she referring to them when they were boys?
boys, right?
You tell me.
Yes, because them said over the 5 to 7 years where them play football, like the one of that first, and then tomorrow them be back friend and come back at school.
But what is the title of the piece? KC Old Boys.
Old Boys.
What is the writer implying in that?
As they grow older.
They are reminiscing on the days that they used to have, the good times that they used to have with the fellow schoolmates, and that they are missing all of that
Right. So even the writer say even when them get old now and them have them party and them dinner, they just want to talk and reflect on those days. So they rather have their counterpart there to discuss all days.
I think you guys need to all the groups. You're not even identifying the writer's purpose. I haven't heard the writer's purpose yet. So I think you need to work together outside of the class, and then when I see you on Thursday, you should come back with something a little bit more substantive, okay?
The same group in the breakout room?
Yes, same group in the breakout room.
Sir, you're doing any consulting?
Not tonight. Is there any, can you send me just send me a WhatsApp message if I can talk to you via WhatsApp.
Okay, sir, because I have a concern.
Okay, just send me a WhatsApp message, and if anything, we can talk via WhatsApp. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
All right,
Night, sir.